Hi, I'm Garrick Brown, Vice President of Retail Research for Cushman and Wakefield. Welcome to another edition of Cool Streets. Portland is an interesting case. Division to Williams to Alberta. We're talking about a neighborhood revival that's half a dozen neighborhoods. In fact, you could argue the entire city of Portland is a cool street. Quirkiness is cool, and that's this town's calling card. So join us on this episode of Cool Streets as we explore arguably the coolest city in America, Portland, Oregon.
It's really the quality of life. You know, people want to live here, be here. Despite the rain, we have great summers, and a lot of folks are drawn to Portland just because you're an hour from the coast and you're an hour from the mountains.
Even small areas like the Kenton neighborhood, where you have a lot of coffee shops and intermittent local retailers and small boutique shops that are very popular. Unique areas that they can talk about and tell stories about to their friends and bring them into the areas as well.
The migration of companies to Portland is a combination of both new incubating companies that are growing and tech companies here in Portland. And a lot of these employers and companies are just chasing where the people want to be, particularly millennials that are finding Portland is a good place to start their careers or relocate to. A lot of jobs here. Portland's been a real rising star in a way that I've not seen in my career here, which is exciting.
A lot of young people gravitate towards tech jobs. So I think tech companies look at it and see, I've got a great labor force, they've got a great quality of life, and then you add in the fact that we're a cheaper alternative than Seattle, San Francisco. From a real estate perspective, it's kind of a no-brainer.
It's a real mixed-use economy, and I think sometimes that term is overused. But here it's more of a mix. It's smaller, homegrown tech companies, it's other professional and business services, and that's really been the dynamic growth that's occurred over the past few years.
Portland is the home to the world's smallest official park. Mills End Park is 2.5 feet in diameter.
If you hadn't heard, Portland is really a foodie town. So food has driven a lot of the retail expansion in Portland. It embraces locals, the culinary skill, the visibility of some of our chefs onto Top Chef, and Portlanders want to support locals. So food is really a big story.
There have been chefs that have come to Portland to make and start up their wares. We had James Beard Award winners here. Philippe came, David Machado came, Vitaly Paley came, Greg Higgins, one of the innovators there, Kathy Wims. These are all chefs that have been in the Portland area and have made a mark.
We just did a lease in the Slabtown location in Northwest Portland. It's a brewery, but they also have this wonderful restaurant experience too, in an old warehouse building that's an adaptive reuse building. We call that building the Slabtown Marketplace. We have Breakside Brewery. It's a really popular regional brewer. And it's a great amenity for the office, the residential, and all the other uses that in the projects that we have going on and around that neighborhood.
There are 116 breweries within a 1-hour drive of Portland, making it the microbrewery capital of the United States.
I think we had that trend 25 years ago, that and the coffee bar.
They want a chef-driven product. They want healthy food. Portlandia is sort of a joke for us locally, but we don't really need to know what the chicken's name is, but people do care about where it's from. They do care about if it's local. My partner, Vitaly, has certainly stressed that throughout the years working with farmers, and there is a difference. You can taste the difference.
Portland is influenced greatly by the urban growth boundary. Controlled growth.
If you're within that boundary, you can get zoning that allows you to develop industrial office. If you're outside that boundary, it's really designed for farm, forest uses. It's designed to prevent urban sprawl. The challenge we're finding in Portland right now is there's not a lot of industrial land to build on.
Here what you've seen is renovation and redevelopment of prior uses, especially manufacturing up in the Pearl, that's kind of missing from a lot of other major markets.
Graymore Development, who has done most of their developing in Portland for years, has been eyeing the waterfront in Vancouver, and that project is coming to life. So it's really an entirely new community for Vancouver.
We wanted it to be a place that everyone in Clark County and Vancouver could come to and know that it was their waterfront, and so we've designed a waterfront park that goes the whole distance, the whole half a mile of our waterfront. The whole park is under construction, funded, fully funded. restaurant building, office building, and the housing building, that the project will probably finish somewhere in 7, 8 years from now.
Just across the river, Vancouver, Washington, the Cool Street phenomena and an urban core where it simply doesn't exist today. Something that's unique. I'm Garrett Brown. It's not high streets, it's cool streets.